Isaiah chapter 28. Woe to the leaders of Ephraim and Judah. Woe to the pride of Ephraim's drunkards. To the fading flower, his glorious beauty, set on the head of fertile valley. To that city, the pride of those laid low by wine. See the Lord as one who is powerful and strong, like a hailstorm and destructive wind, like a driving rain and flooding downpour. Will throw it forcefully to the ground. The pride of Abraham's drunkard, will be trampled underfoot. That feeding flower, his glorious beauty, sit on the head of the fertile valley, will be like figs ripe before harvest. As soon as people see them and take them in the land, they swallow them. And that day the Lord Almighty will be glorious crown, a beautiful red. For the remnant of his people will be spirit of justice. To the one who sits in judgment, a source of strength. And to those who turn back the battle of the gate. And this also stagger from wine and rail from beer. Priests and the prophets stagger from beer and are befuddled with wine. They rail from beer. They stagger with seeing visions. They stumble when rendering decisions. All the tables are covered with vomit, and there is not a spot without filth. Who is it he is crying to teach? To whom is he explaining his message? The children went from their milk to those just taken from the breast. But it is to this, do that, a roll for this, a roll for that. A little here, a little there. There will then, with foreign lips and strange tongues, God will speak to his people, to whom he said, This is the resting place, let the weary rest. And this is the resting place of repose. But they would not listen. So then, the word of the Lord to them will become to this, to that, a roll for this, a roll for that. A little here, a little there, so that as they go, they will fall backward. They will endure and snare and capture. Therefore, hear the word of the Lord. You scoffers, who roll these people in Jerusalem, you boast, you have entered into a covenant with death. With the realm of the dead, we have made an agreement. When overwhelming scourge sweep by, it cannot touch us, for we have made a lie our refuge, and falsehood our hiding place. So this is what the sovereign Lord says. See, a stone in Zion, a tested stone, the precious cornerstone for a sure foundation. The one who relies on it will never be stricken with panic. I will make justice and measuring line and righteousness the plumb line. Hail will sweep away your refuge, the lie. The water will overflow your hiding place. Your covenant with death will be annulled. Your agreement with the realm of the dead will not stand. When the overwhelming scourge sweep by, will be beaten down by it. As often as it comes, it will carry you away. Morning after morning, and day and night, it will sweep through. The understanding of this message will bring sheer terror. The bed is too short to stretch out on, the blanket too narrow to wrap around you. The Lord will rise up as he did on Mount Gerizim. He will rouse himself as in the valley of Gibeon. To do his work, his strength's work, and perform tasks, his alien task. Now stop your mocking, and your chains will become heavier. The Lord Almighty has told me of the destruction decreed against the whole land. Listen and hear my voice. Pay attention and hear what I say. When a farmer plows for planting, does he plow continually? Does he keep on breaking up and working the soil? When he has leveled the surface, does not sow caraway and scatter cumin? Does he not plant wheat in its place, barley in its plot, and spilled it in it spilled, Yes, God instructs him and teaches him the right way. Caraway is not threshed with the sledge, nor in the well of the cart rolled over cumin. Caraway is beaten out with a rod, and cumin with a stick. Grain must be ground to make bread, so one does not go on threshing for it forever. The wheels of threshing cart may be rolled over it, but none does not use horses to grind grain. And this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent.